I generally do not make any plan with me videos because it wasn't really feasible for me to make them. But now I can because I can have overhead shots for longer periods of time. So here I am with a plan with me video for August 2024 bullet journal setup. I went for a vintage slash scrapbooky theme for August without any doodles, mainly because I don't know what to say. I wasn't really in an artist's block or something. I just did not feel like drawing a lot for some reason. And by the way, I made this mistake while drawing shadows for the S. But yeah. And I had also not so recently bought some new stationery. It has been like a month or two since I bought these new things. A lot of washi tapes and stickers and similar things. Basically, everything related to scrapbooking. I might actually do a stationery haul for that. And if you're interested in watching that, then maybe consider subscribing to my channel. So I have used all of those supplies here for this August setup. I think it's also been a while since I have done any videos with voiceovers. It's mainly because I do not usually have a lot to say, to be honest, and I also sometimes wonder if people would get annoyed by listening to me just blabber about things randomly. So I usually don't do it, but I'm doing it now in this video, just like that, trying new things. So I will just be talking about this August setup, how I did it, what all went into my mind, or maybe some other random things if they keep coming. Unfortunately, there can be a little disturbance or background noise because it's raining outside and it just does not stop raining. And I did not want to delay this video more, so I'm just doing the voiceover right now. Cannot really control rain. This quote on the left page really resonates with me actually, because I have been feeling that I'm getting old really quickly. Like my choices and my preferences, they just really differ from people of my age for some reason. Sometimes it makes me feel that I don't belong with them, or sometimes I just feel that okay, I'm just an old lady in a young woman's body. Initially, I had just thought of taking green and brown tones for the color scheme, but I added a hint of blue as well as an accent, and I think it went well with the whole theme and the other colors. For my monthly calendar, I kept it pretty simple, and initially I thought to make it like separate bubbles. I mean, square shaped bubbles, basically separate from each other. But then this journal that I'm using right now, it's from Vinci Stationery, by the way, and it's not that big. It's not as big as my last journal, so there wasn't much space for me to play around, so I just kept it really minimal and close. To be honest, I'm not that happy with this Vinci Stationery's dot grid journal. It's hardcover and I just don't really like the quality of the pages. I mean, they had mentioned on their website that it's either 100 or 120 GSM or something, but the pages just feel to be max to max 75 or 80 GSM. Although most of my supplies don't really bleed through generally, but there is a lot of ghosting, which I don't mind that much since I have been using Matrika's notebooks for the longest time before I switched to the jotting dots. But still, like, when you finally start having your hands on a really good quality notebook and you get the feel and habit of it, then it's just difficult to go back to the old ones or the previous quality that you used to use. So it's just that. But yeah, it did disappoint me, and it's not just about the GSM of the pages. I mean, I haven't really showed you any close up of the dots, but I would say the dots aren't really aligned like how I would prefer them to be. It's hard to explain without showing you, but yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I am not a fan of Vinci Stationery's journals, and I did request for a return, and by the way, they have refunded all of my money, but they did not come to pick the journal for return. Now I don't know what to think about it, but I guess I'm just happy that I mean, it's not the best thing to do or the best scenario, but I mean, from the business perspective. But for me as a consumer, I have the product and I also have all of my refunds, so I'm happy. This is the first time something like this has happened with me, so it's kind of funny for me, but then at the end of the day it's fine, it's great. Now for habit trackers, I decided to change my layout, like my usual layout, a little bit. If you have been following me since a while, or even if you have just watched a couple of my previous bullet journal related videos, then you must be knowing that I used to make my habit trackers like boxes, 3 or 4 boxes for the 3 or 4 habits that I wanted to track. But this time I wanted to track more habits because I have been trying to building a couple of new habits lately, and it's been a task. Especially for someone like me who procrastinates a lot. So I wanted to track 5 habits this month, and as you already know that the notebook isn't really large. What is the size? I think it's B5. Yeah, it must be B5, and my previous notebook, which was from the jotting dots, that was A5, so that was bigger than this. And I've seen a lot of people preferring smaller notebooks or even tiny journals. Like I've seen people journaling in really tiny journals and notebooks, and they prefer them, I guess, because of their portability. I'm not sure, but maybe that, and maybe because they just look cute. But for me personally, I think I like bigger sizes. Okay, that's what she said. Okay, jokes apart, I do like bigger notebooks than smaller ones because they're just easier to play around with and use up space and draw or whatever. Oh, and by the way, I do not make mood tracker anymore. Not that I don't like it, but it's just that I have a whole spread dedicated to, what is it called? Year in pixels. Yeah. So you might or might not have seen it on Pinterest or Instagram or anywhere else, but we basically make these really tiny boxes of all the dates of the year, and then we fill them up with colors according to the mood or how the day went. I think that makes more sense because we get to see an yearly view of it, of how the year went. So I'm just really trying new things out and seeing what's working for me and what isn't. So mood trackers might come back in my journal, who knows. But for now, it's just my habit trackers and expenses tracker. By the way, I just realized that I haven't talked about the supplies at all. So as I said earlier, I bought some stationery 1 or 2 months ago, and these include a lot of stickers, some washi tapes, and some note memos, or I don't know what they call it, I will have to check the website, but anyway, I will link everything down in the description, so no worries. And I will also make a stationery haul, so you can check all these things out properly in that. But other than all of these things that I used to paste in the spreads, the colors that I use are two Tombow dual brush pens. So the green one is 076 green ochre, and the brown one is 977 saddle brown. Apart from this, as you can see, I also used a blue mild liner, so it's in the color mild dark blue. Except for these colors and markers, I just used my regular things like Sakura Pigma microns in different sizes. I have a whole set of 6 of them, and my pencil and eraser, and that's it. Although I haven't filled my playlist spread yet, but it's pretty obvious that the first song that's gonna be in there is going to be August by Taylor Swift. Now, I won't really call myself a Swiftie, but I do like her songs, and especially Folklore. The whole album is, I am not sure if it's my favorite, but I really do like it. And I like how the song August sounds, and it really does feel like August, if you know what I mean. And I'm very open to song recommendations and music recommendations in general, and it's not specific to any language or any genre, to be honest. Okay, if we talk about genres, then I mostly listen to pop and different subgenres of pop. I like soft rock sometimes. I also enjoy metal sometimes. But yeah, it's mainly pop along with R&B and jazz. So if you have any suggestions or song recommendations, music recommendations, then feel free to give me in comment section. And language is not a barrier, by the way. Coming to the first weekly spread of August, we know how the week is, right? In August, it's starting from Thursday, so I did not really feel the need to make a whole Monday to Sunday or weekend weekly spread, so I just utilized a whole page instead of taking 2 of them, and just made spaces for 4 days of the week. And by the way, I'm actually really liking this whole simple, not minimal, but this whole simple and scrapbooky vibe going on here. I mean, I don't have to draw anything and fill colors in it. I just have to paste things, and it's just so simple. It's not a task at all. Well, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy and love drawing and doodling and coloring and all things artsy. But I think it's still nice to have some change every now and then, and especially when you're not feeling like doing much. And I also think that this particular August bullet journal setup might give some people inspiration who are not that much into art, or who don't like doodling or drawing that much, or even if they do, then they might not have the time for it, because after all, at the end of the day, we are making a bullet journal for it to be functional, right? And not just to look good for the gram. Now it's nearly impossible for me to make all of my spreads outside in natural light, so I'm just gonna show you the final flip through of it in natural light, because I can do that and it's feasible. So this was my August 2024 bullet journal setup. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it, and I'll see you soon. Bye. अरे लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब भी कर देना.